Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia. We work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio.
I'm Carly Parker with the Rome Floyd Chamber. Today on our podcast, we have John Fortune with the Exchange Club, Kristi Kent with Georgia's Rome Office of Tourism, Constanza Sweeney with Intercultural Fest.
Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Great.
Excellent. Awesome.
This is going to be a good group. Are we excited to be here?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're pumped.
Thank you, sir.
Let's get that. There we go.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I can do that. See, when we introduce y'all, it's crowd noise. When I introduce Carly,
Oh, my God. He likes to play jokes.
oh, hello, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. So off the top here, we'd just like to go for a minute or two for each person to kind of tell us about your organization, kind of big picture stuff, and then we'll just kind of circle back around and see where the conversation goes. Let's talk Intercultural Fest. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am doing excellent. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, Constanza.
Well, it's our organization because intercultural is a connection between communities. And then when I created Intercultural Fest, we were thinking about necessity of the identity, like a bridge between many cultures and learn about roots, about people. Well, through culture, we can create many things. Through culture, we can learn, educate, and then we can transmit ideas, projects inside the economy. And Intercultural Fest has been since 2016 doing this with different activities.
Okay, what prompted you to get this thing started? What made you want to do it?
Well, I had been working with the community for 20 years, and then from Chattanooga to Greenville and different places, more than here in Rome, Georgia, where we started in 2016. I brought like 30 countries to performance in the forum. That was a sacrifice also because it was hard. But what made me do this? Because what I'm seeing is the majority of the nonprofit organizations and the people in the community, when they trying to raise money, to transmit something, to speak with the community, they create an event, okay? And then what happens, since I am coming from Colombia, but I miss many things there. Here in the United States, it's not only Colombia. Of course, it's United States of America, I think it's a beautiful country and generous country. Some people when they have been born here probably doesn't know what is the value of this country. But for me, when I create Intercultural Fest, the motivation is showing the cultures because we had many countries here. Okay, and then again the identity and was something like personal also.
Right. Okay.
It's like when you are sad and when you are boring and when you don't know where you go, you listen a song and you remember that. When you want to eat something, if you are here, well, maybe you go to El Zarape.
Yeah, right across the street.
but it's like culture. Culture is gastronomy.
Yeah,
it's
music. A lot of different things.
Yes, it doesn't matter who you are. You learn and you make you happy, and then I believe the mental thing in any place in the world is very important. If you are happy, you're going to make the people happy. And my motivation each day is like, life is so beautiful. We had to make it happen beautifully through culture.
Wow. Very optimistic, very happy organization.
Real life.
Yeah.
Real life, that is the point.
Yeah.
It wasn't because the real life wasn't sometimes so cruel. That wasn't as significant what I am doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, certainly we'll circle back around. I'm interested to hear more about your story and how you came to this country.
Thank you, sir.
Let's say hello to Kristi Kent. Hi, Kristi.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Kristi, okay, that's a little too chipper,
Oh,
Kristi.
sorry, I'm too chipper. Okay, tune it down a little bit.
I'm teasing. So Georgia's Rome Office of Tourism, tell us a little bit about you guys.
We have so many great events happening October. We've got tons of tours. The first tour that we have is kicking off October 9th. That's a Sunday. And we're going to do our annual Where Romans Rest tours at Myrtle Hill Cemetery. And we change them up every year. This year it's going to be murder, mystery, and mayhem. So some of
sounds fun.
More notorious residents that we have at Myrtle Hill Cemetery. And the way it works is they'll tour you through the cemetery, and you will meet individual characters along the way who will tell you a little bit about their lives. And they're actual residents of the cemetery. So they'll have half-hour tours from 1:30, and the tours will start on the half hour from 1:30 until 3, and they last about 90 minutes. It's a really, really cool experience, and they offer this once a year.
Well, do you know? Can you give me an example of a notorious person that do you know, or is it?
I am not supposed to give anything away.
Okay.
So, but I am telling you, it will be a very exciting, fun experience, and there's some. I kind of hinted at it: murder, mystery, and mayhem. So that kind of gives you the idea of some of the characters that you will meet.
Well, big picture. That's one event coming up.
Yes.
What is the mission of your organization, and what's it all about?
So the Georgia's Rome Office of Tourism is about bringing people to Rome to spend the night in Rome. We're funded by hotel motel tax, and that is a huge economic driver for our community because we're bringing outside dollars in to spend money here in our community. And we like to call them temporary taxpayers because when they're here, they're spending money, and that goes to help fund all of the things that we enjoy in our community.
So anything that can help lure people into town, be it a Rome Braves game or a tennis tournament or the Rome International Film Festival, things like that?
Exactly, yes. Anything that gets people here to spend the night, we want them here in Rome.
Okay, well, we'll stop back by. Let's check in with John Fortune, the president of the Exchange Club. Hi, John. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I appreciate your comments about culture because I was in the Army all my life, and I spent 18 years overseas, so I've been immersed in a lot of different cultures from the American standpoint. But yes, I'm the president of the Exchange Club, and the biggest thing that you notice going on right now for us is the Coosa Valley Fair. And we'll talk more about that later, I'm sure. But the Exchange Club in itself, though, has several different sub-organizations that do a lot in this community. One is the Americanism Committee, which we go out and give a history of the flag to the fourth graders in all the schools. And we have about 1,500 students we do that to each year. We also have the Traveling Tomb. It traveled in 36 states in the last few years, showing off the replica of the Tomb of the Unknown. And that's a Bill King project. And you see it around town. You see it all across the country. We have the youth programs, which we support youth development, the ACE program, where challenged kids can do things, excel in what they do, and they can go on to different levels and get to a $15,000 scholarship level at the national level of exchange. And one of the things that we're pretty popular around here is also our Family Resource Center, which is under Tina Barlinson, which is part of the Exchange Club. And they have parent aides go out and teach young mothers how to be parents who have no parenting skills. So we have quite a few things we're involved in. One thing you see around town a lot during the next few months will be our Toys for Tots program. We're partnered with the Marine Corps League, and the exchange sites do most of the heavy lifting for the Toys for Tots program. So that's kind of the Exchange Club in a nutshell, which you could talk about each one of them for probably 30 minutes. But that's where we are. And, of course, the fair is our biggest activity right now, and they're starting to crank up at the fairgrounds. They mark the spots. Things are starting to come in. So.
Yeah, so that's obviously the one that most people know about first and foremost. Can you kind of give us the dates of the fair and all that? Because it's next week, right?
Well,
as we record this.
Yeah, it opens next Tuesday at 5:00, and it'll run through Saturday. And this weekend will be the huge weekend when all the people have their arts and crafts, their animals, their flowers, twigs, and sticks, and all this stuff that everybody grows and things. They'll start setting up for a competition. They get prizes and they get ribbons, and that's a big, huge event. far as in our community building. I have the village building. I'm the guy that rents out the spaces for commercial people or puts up information for the community activities. And we also have Bonnie Askew has a community building, has the nonprofits set up their displays to promote their organization. So
it's interesting. We were chatting beforehand that it's several days of build up and people moving in and setting up. But when the thing is over, they clear out, don't they?
Yeah. Right now we got the guy marking the red spots on the pavement, and a few items are coming in. Sunday it'll be just piled in there, and then on Sunday after the fair, it's like disappears. Everybody's ready to leave and go somewhere else. So, but after a week of fun at the fair, and obviously we may have some good weather this year, which makes fair nights really nice. So,
right. Where did you serve? What branch? And
I served in the Army for 40 years.
Well, thank you for your service.
I served 18 years in Germany. I did 2 years in Korea, and all the other assorted countries the Army would send you to when they decided you need to go somewhere. So I had been in about 21 countries through the Army tourism program. And then we moved back to Rome in 2012 because we live in Armurchie, and we were Armurchie fans for a long time because our granddaughters grew up there in the music world. So for 8 years, we got to go watch Friday night football at Armurchie, and that was interesting sometime in itself.
So you're from Rome originally?
I grew up in Rome, in North Rome, went to East Rome High School, and left, and then came back in 2012.
Oh, okay. Well, we know you weren't born in Rome. You said you were born in Colombia. What brought you to Rome? Tell us your personal story, please, ma'am.
Well, I am honored to be part of this activity today again. I was born in Colombia. Yeah, I got married in Colombia with an American gentleman. And I came to Rome. I live in Taylorsville, Georgia. But my organization, I am in Intercultural Fest, LLC, and then we had a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Rome is beautiful. Rome has a beautiful places to visit, and I think I am an accompaniment of you. You know, like I am little piece of you here also, because when I do an event, we put everything together. And then that is the part that the people, maybe some of the communities doesn't know that it sits, you know. What is my I had been Mary Kay for 20, I was Mary Kay sales director for 22 years. I was a pink Cadillac, like 6 cards, top 3, top 5, top 4 in recruiting. And I was changing life through Mary Kay also. And then I knocking at the doors, and that is the way that I saw the necessities of the community, you know, because a part of the Anglo-Americans is a lot of community from other places. I know that here it predominates like, now that we have the Heritage Month, we have the Guatemalan and Mexican, that is the majority of the minorities here. But the Colombians, we don't have a lot of Colombians here. We don't have a lot of Colombians. And Ron is like an attraction, I think, for everybody. When you start seeing Ron, you get in love with Ron. But for us, maybe, you know, the minorities is like we are getting in these days. Now I think we're getting in the point that we can share our cultures with the Anglo-American. I'm going to do a resume of this. Right now we are at the. I'm going to remark something. We are at the Heritage Month from September 15 to October 15. Okay, the majority of the minorities is the Latino community.
There we go.
After Asians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the United States, the majority of the Latino communities is the Mexican people. Okay. Then we go into Salvador, and after that, Guatemala. Probably I am wrong, but it's the way that I have learned this. In this area, Northwest Georgia, I found like Cedartown, Cartersville, Ron, at Daresville. Probably we had more people that is from Guatemala and Mexico. Here in Rome, probably maybe it's 20 or 30 Colombian, but we had Chile, Cuba present, and then we had other cultures present. I'm doing this kind of events that is multicultural. I do like 5 events right now. My first event was here in Rome. That was multicultural also. And my goal in Rome probably is making again the international event that bringing a lot of culture, not only Latino, everybody,
Right.
all of us under one flag. That is my slogan. But my 5 events is a spring international festival that I am doing in downtown Cartersville. Well, I rented the place and they give me the opportunity to do that. Then I do the Independence of Colombia. And then I do the Heritage Month that I just did it.
River City Bank.
10 days ago, the big event that was in downtown Cartersville, that came like maybe 3,000, maybe more than 3,000 people. And with the River City Bank that you invite me to be part of this event, I was so glad because River City Bank is very kind. And kind doesn't cost, but sometimes it's very difficult to find. When you go into a beautiful place and the people start looking, you like, oh, but doesn't say any hello, no. This is again like a commercial,
Kind doesn't cost. That's a good
Kind
phrase.
doesn't cost. And then Latino, we are like more that kindness. When somebody smiles to us, doesn't matter you have $1,000 in your hand, but you are not kind. We don't care, really. But sometimes we don't care. But we are contributing to the United States of America maybe 19%. What is the economy? And then that is a good thing that the majority of the minorities are Latinos.
So you do these, you mentioned 5 things you do through the year?
Right now, I'm doing the big ones,
Right.
And then the next one is going to be on October 29th in downtown Cartersville. It's going to be Dia de los Muertos. That is a celebration of the millennium culture from Aztec, Mayas, and Incas. We're going to have the presence of the consulate from Mexico.
Okay.
Maybe the consul or maybe somebody else representing the consulate. I brought here in 2016 for our first event, Guatemala, Mexico, Ecuador, and Colombia, Salvador. That we were Mr. Jamie in that time. That was Mr. Jamie, the mayor of the city, and Miss Lisa was the director of the tourist. And she helped me to bring Mr. Major and tell su casa es mi casa. And I had that video, but it's beautiful,
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's a lot for me to soak in. And I actually, when did you learn to speak English?
I haven't finished. I went to Georgia Tech to study in English, but I started going everywhere, but with you guys, with you, and I had, and I'm going to tell you this. I was the owner of AYF Grill House.
Oh, were you?
Yes, that was a beautiful 9-meter, but I am here. Okay.
Yeah, some people would tell me I'm still trying to learn English. So you're doing great.
When you just bark at people, it's really hard.
Well, that's just a college.
But you are so kind.
That's just
really.
a college football thing. Okay, Kristi, what else do you guys have on your year-round calendar?
We've got other tours that are booked for the month of October. We've got our Haunted on Broad, which returns the last 2 weekends of October on Friday and Saturday evenings, and they change it up every year. And this one will depart from the library, and they will have actual investigations that they will share from the Southern Paranormal investigators, and all of the stories that they share are 100% documented. Selena Tilley is our historian, and she doesn't share anything that is not documented. So those are real haunted stories on Broad.
With Halloween, we've caught you at a creepy time of year with the cemetery thing.
Yeah. So, but you know what? We always have something timely going on tour-wise over at the tourism office. So one of the things that we really want to do is make sure that when people come to visit Rome, that they just have an awesome experience and that they want to return. So, a big thing of what a draw for Rome is all of our history, our culture, and we just always have a lot going on. And then another big draw is our trails and our, natural resources that we have. We actually just recently launched a outdoor passport, and it's a really cool thing. It's an opportunity to tour 14 different outdoor locations that we have in the city and the county. And the way it works is you download it, but essentially you put your name and your email into it, and it'll send you a text that gives you access to the passport. And when you get to each of those 14 locations, you can check in, but you can't check in until you're there because it's got a geofence that can tell that you're actually there.
Oh, technology.
Exactly. And so you win prizes along the way. It's 100% free. But we partnered with Tread, with the trails, and they are offering a halfway point, a free water bottle when you've checked in at 6 locations. And then when you've checked in at all 14 locations, you can win a free customized T-shirt that we've designed just for this challenge. And you can pick those up at one of our gift shops.
And that's like all year round. You can just do it whenever.
That's all year round. Just started. So you can take up to a year if you want to, share it with your friends that are visiting in town. They can download it to their phone. And what's cool about it doesn't really take any room on your phone. It's just bookmarking a website. And so it's nice because it's not like downloading an app. Even though it has an app experience, it feels like you're on an app. It's essentially just bookmarking it on your phone to get you to a website.
So y'all kind of create these unique events on your own, but then
Yes.
you also work with all these organizations that are designed to bring people here, right?
That's right. Like this weekend, we have the geocachers that are going to be in town through, they'll be leaving out Sunday, but they started arriving last night. And that's a free event in Rome where people can come and explore all the different geocachers, and they do a lot of fun and fanfare around it. So,
well, this may be a question for both of you, John, as well, with like we call it the Coosa Valley Fair to appeal to a region beyond just Rome, Floyd. Like, how many people come in, do we know, from outside the county that might come in because of the fair and spend some money and spend the night?
We have about 60,000 people that'll come through the fair gates now. As far as the demographics
where they're from,
we wouldn't have no way of really tracking that necessarily, but so we have a huge crowd now. A lot of them are local people, local towns that come here from different towns. I don't know. One year we had some people that were displaced by a hurricane that came here to our fair. Could we get some business from that this year? But out of our 60-something thousand people, it's hard to say where they come from.
Right. And Kristi, being a small to medium-sized town, we always have a lot going on, and you kind of touched on that. Is there any way, from your perspective, looking around at the state of Georgia, how do we relate to other towns? I mean, we've got the fair and Riff, and those are the things that just popped. And your events and the murder and mystery and mayhem.
yes,
there's just always something going on.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know that Northwest Georgia, our region, we've actually fared really well and kind of rebounding since the pandemic. And a lot of it has to do, as I mentioned before, we have such great outdoor amenities and a lot of those outdoor events that draw people to our region. But Floyd County has done an excellent job in, generating that economic impact from tourism. We had a 23.8% year-over-year increase in economic activity due to tourism.
I say that again. How much?
23.8% impact year-over-year increase.
Wow.
Year-over-year.
That seems like a big number to me.
Well, we were recovering from a COVID year, but but the good news about that is we were above and beyond where we were in 2019, which was pre-COVID, of course. So
right.
We're back. We're seeing those strong numbers again.
And what is your background? Are you a Rome native or?
So I actually grew up in Metro Atlanta in Fayetteville, Georgia, south of Atlanta, and I moved to Rome about 15 years ago. Right. So I consider myself a Roman now.
we'll take you. I was born in Armurchie, but kind of the Metro Rome area.
Yeah, it's across town.
Right. Yeah, it's a long way to get over to Armurchie.
Actually, I was born at Floyd Hospital inside the city limits, but it was Floyd Hospital then. Now it's anyway. Okay. let's kind of go around here and get some final thoughts and maybe contact information for your organizations, your website, or your social media. Maybe anything you got coming up that you wanted to make sure you mentioned that we didn't get to. And John, I want to start with you because I need some advice on how to win some of those carnival games at the fair.
Well, I don't think there is any advice because as I was talking earlier, the only thing I could used to win when I was a kid was a fish in a bowl. And when you had to walk home with your fish in a bowl, that wasn't such a great prize about 5 minutes from the fairgrounds.
Or the other thing is, I won the stuffed animal, because I played this game. Well, how much did it cost you? $138.
But I won it at the fair.
but I won it at the fair. It's hard to break all of those dishes, or it's hard to make that coin land flat on that plate. And
you got your fair carny food. Everybody has to go have a fix of. But we got 6 food booths up there. It's local organizations. That's their bigger fundraisers for the year. The American Legion and some of the churches have food booths up there. So if you're up there, try to spend some money with them because money goes right back to the community with these people. So
and that's another great thing about the fair, other than it's just an institution that's been here forever. But before we wrap up here, tell me about some of the what else you got. Arts and games and rides, and can you give me some specifics of what people can expect?
Well, you got the arts and the crafts. We got the cow barns, which has a very competitive animal shows, and they'll actually compete through Wednesday. Then they go to Perry, Georgia, and then we'll have a petting zoo in its place. But a lot of the animals always disappear on Wednesday, and people come up there and think they're going to have animals all the time, but they go south for competition. It's a huge multi-state competition when it comes to the cattle shows and the sheep and the pigs and stuff.
So if they want to see those animals, they need to be there.
Come early in the week
Tuesday,
to see those.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
But we are going to have a petting zoo this year. It's going to stay in the barns the whole fair. Okay. And we have the Walinda's coming up there again, and so we have a lot of attractions up there. The community building has a lot of really cool stuff to see because you got an organization put together display booths, and sometimes there's a lot of talent put into those booths, and you can see the talent and the passion of the people in Rome, Georgia, that supports Rome activities in Floyd County. So, and our money goes right back to the community. So when you come to that gate and pay your $5 entry fee, it reverts back to the community at some place and time. So it's not just us pocketing and making a lot of profit. It actually goes back out. So we're proud of our fair. Like everybody else, we suffered through the COVID shutdown. Last year was okay, but we're really expecting a really good fair this year because people are seeming to want to get out and enjoy things again, and we're hoping, and the weather looks like it's going to be real nice, so we're hoping for a real good turnout. Yeah,
refresh my memory. COVID hit spring of 2020. So is this kind of the first full-fledged fair since then?
Well, we had a fair last year, but if you came to the fair last year, you kind of seen it kind of missing a lot of the moving pieces, It was holes places that everybody, there's a hole over there. Well, that's because they didn't come back.
Right.
But this year it seemed like we got a real big return on bigger stuff in the fair. My building's doing real well. I'm struggling getting some smaller group individuals who want to come out and be around people for some reason. But the bigger companies are stepping up and renting, they rent a lot of space. So
okay. So how can we find out more? Is there a website or the Exchange Club or how?
You got the Exchange Club website, and you also got a Coosa Valley Fair website. So.
Okay.
They have the events timeline and all that. Events.
How long has the fair been here in Rome?
73 years.
Wow.
I'll be president on the 75th year, so we're going to have a nice T-shirt that year.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I was before we got going here, we were reminiscing about I want to fish too. Back when I was a kid, and it came in a little bowl, and you had to get it home without killing it.
And my mother was always really excited when I came through the door with a fish in a bowl.
And I think that's maybe the only thing I won. But my dad was involved in the Exchange Club when I was a kid years and years ago. Okay, so you can find out more by going to their websites, and we look forward to the great event. How can we learn more about the Intercultural Fest, or how would you like people to connect with you on social media, things like that?
Yes, sir. You can go to my website, www.interculturalfestusa.com, and then you're going to find the Intercultural Fest. And also, if you want to be, if you want to support what we are doing, you can go to through the 501c3.
Yeah. So, what do you need? Do you need donations, or do you need volunteers? What do you need?
I need donations because I would like to keep going the activities with the community. And I wanted to do a parenthesis because I spoke a lot about other things, but I wanted to remind the people that, I don't know if you remember Rubén Blades when that happens in the COVID. I was part of the board of that time in the Rome International Film Festival that we present the Rubén Blades. It's now my name with Mr. Douglas Collins. And then that day we made history because I think was the first time that the auditorium showing a documentary in Spanish with subtitle in English, and the 90% of the audience was Anglo-American, and then we went to do the VIP party salsa night. That was beautiful. That was a remember moment.
Okay, good. Kristi? Final thoughts from you and contact information, website, social media,
sure.
What have you?
Yeah, so we have a lot more tours I didn't even talk about. The haunted river tours.
Mention them.
Okay, yeah. So we've got the October 23rd and October 30th, the Roman holiday haunted river tours, where you can learn a little bit about river history and some of the haunted musings that went on.
We have rivers here?
We have beautiful rivers. That's right. And if you've never seen them from the perspective of actually being on the Roman holiday tours are a great way to do that. It's great for all ages too. So, we also have our hallowed hauntings. I know it's crazy we have this many haunted events.
Well, it's Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween is very popular.
October 15th at the History Center, they will have professional storytellers that will offer stories at 7 for the young ones that are more just ghost stories and not so scary, and then also at 8:30 that are a little bit more scarier for people 12 years and older.
Ooh, I want to hear the scary ones.
Yes. So, and then also we have our clock tower tours that will continue in the first Sunday in November. I'm sorry, first Saturday. And those will be geared for fall colors. So they'll actually make those evening clock tower tours.
A lot going on. What's your website or socials?
RomeGeorgia.org is our website. We have a tour link, and we also have an event calendar. So I know I threw a lot of information at y'all today. So if you also want to learn about the outdoor passport I mentioned, we have links to all of that at RomeGeorgia.org.
Carly, final thoughts from the chamber?
Well, thanks, guys, for being on here. We always appreciate y'all participating in the chamber and everything that you guys do for our community. You can always find some of these events probably on the chamber calendar as well. I think Georgia's Rome Tourism tries to post them, and I think the fair's on there and anything with nonprofits as well. And if there's anyone that is listening and needs anything from the chamber, we would love to help you, support you guys in any way we can. And I guess we'll close on that.
What's your website?
Oh, yeah. I forgot that. It's at romega.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia. We work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thank you so much for listening.